Good morning. It's another Saturday, so it only means one thing, session on taxation tayo. So at this point, brothers and sisters, our agenda for today is to discuss uh, items of gross income at saka mga exclusions. So we're talking about inclusions and exclusions from taxation. But before that, syempre, we're talking about income. So pag-usapan muna natin, ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng income? Okay? One time, in one of the meetings na I ever had, I remember this person I met, a president of a company, medyo may edad na. And then he opened up our discussion by asking a question. Sabi niya, Vic, how do you define income? Okay. So ngayon, siyempre, ang income maraming ibig sabihin. So kapag ikaw ay tinanong ng income, eto ang pinakamagandang sagot. Yun nakikita mo sa number one. If somebody's going to ask you what is income, the answer to the question is it means all wealth which flows to the taxpayer other than return of capital. So we're talking about wealth. So yung wealth na yan pertains to income. And of course, when we say other than return of capital, you made an investment, tapos yan ay merong nadagdagan, okay, you can separate it, you realized it. So basically, that wealth is an income. So, number two, ano naman yung income? No? Ito, practically, this is not new to you. No? Yung number one kasi, technical definition yan, based yan sa Supreme Court ruling. Yung number two, based din sa Supreme Court ruling to, pero it's more of general nature. Anong sabi rito? An amount of money coming to a person or corporation within a specified time. So we're talking about a period here. In taxation, ang period natin, taxable or fiscal. Okay, calendar year or fiscal. Okay, pero measurement ng income can be monthly, can be quarterly, can be semestrally, or it can be annual. So specified time yan. Depende kasi kung anong gusto ng management. No? Whether it's payment for services. So this one is about the income of a person selling service or interest. No? Pag sinabing interest, it can, the income earner can be a lender or nagpapautang. Okay? Or profit from investment. So, ibig sabihin, there's an investment made by the investor. So, ngayon, yung profit is also defined as an income. So, more or less, yan ay kayang intindihin. Number three, pag sinabing income, flow of service rendered by capital. Okay, itong ibig sabihin, meron kang pera, pinaiikot mo yan, ang tawag doon, flow of service. So ngayon, kumita ng pera yung perang pinaikot mo. So yung kinita is an income. Okay? By the payment of money from it or any other benefit rendered by a fund. So benefit rendered by a fund. So pag merong realized income dyan, okay, can be severed from your capital, that portion is called an income. Ayun, binanggit na naman through period of time kasi nga merong minimeasure natin yung income on a specified time. Okay? Number four, very important to. Definition by inclusion. Okay? Kasi there are many ways by which you can define a term. So, ito, definition by inclusion. Karamihan sa mga a number of terminologies in the tax code basically are defined by inclusion. Halimbawa, corporation, no? Includes partnership, no matter how created or organized. Includes one-person corporation. So, same definition by inclusion. So, dito, how do you define income? Includes earnings. Lawfully or unlawfully acquired. Actually, yung number four is the basis of the definition of the gross income in our tax code. Bakit? Ano bang sabi sa section 32A of the tax code? Meaning of gross income. It refers to all income derived from whatever source. So, ibig sabihin, we don't look at the source, whether legal or illegal. Yan ang basis in the case of James versus US. Without consensual recognition, express or implied, of an obligation to repay, and without restriction, ang pinaka-importante dyan, there's no restriction as to the disposition of money or the earning. That means yan ay income. So parang halimbawa, deposit yan. Meron bang restriction sa deposit? Kung merong restriction, hindi yan income. Bakit? There's a restriction eh. Pero kung wala nang restriction dyan, there's freedom on how to utilize the money. Meron kang control, you have command, ay income na siya. Okay, so mamaya babalikan natin to pagdating natin sa items of gross income. So essentially, these are some of the definitions of what income is. Marami pa ito, no? When you work, yeah, the compensation you receive is an income. When you dispose of an asset, tapos there's a gain, that gain is an income. Okay, meron kang intangible, tumanggap ka ng royalty, that's an income. So maraming different kinds of income. I mean, definition of income. So ngayon, more or less, that is the general definition. Now, let's try to differentiate what's different, the difference between income versus capital. Very simple lang naman to. Pag sinabing capital, fund itself. Fund of property, it means the wealth. It is the money. Okay, that is the capital. So, ang income naman, it is the flow of money. Pinaikot mo yan, flow of service rendered by capital, service of wealth. So, that is essentially the meaning of income. So to speak, the capital is the tree and the fruit is the income. The capital is not subject to tax while income is generally subject to tax. Bakit generally? Because not all income are taxable. Okay, why is capital not subject to tax? Easy, it is not an income. That is the reason. Okay, o ngayon, how do you know if an income is an income? The answer to the question is in relation to what you're seeing. Ito yung mga tests in determining income. Okay? Yung sa handout ninyo, practically, pinag-isa yung ano, isa lang naman talaga yung uh, uh, content or definition ng realization tsaka severance test. But I have seen a Supreme Court ruling wherein dinifferentiate niya, no? Pinaghiwalay niya ang realization at tsaka severance test. Aba, kung ganun pala, edi paghiwalay na rin natin. Actually, from your handout, madali siyang intindihin. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin ng realization test? Anong sabi dyan? Revenue is generally recognized when both of the following conditions are met. Anong meron? Earning process complete or virtually complete and an exchange has taken place. This principle requires that revenue must be earned before it is recorded. Kaya nga realized test ang tawag kasi once you realize an income, then that is an income already. Okay? Sir, example nitong yung criteria, earning process complete, and then an exchange has taken place. So, halimbawa, I manufactured a product, tapos binenta ko sa iyo. So, ngayon, nagbayad ka ng cash or any equivalent value, and then I gave it, I parted with my product. So, exchange has taken place. Earning process is complete. So, ngayon, na-realize ko na yung income. So, yan ang realization test. Number 2 naman, severance test. As the term suggests, there is no taxable income until there is a separation from the capital of something of exchangeable value, thereby supplying the realization or transmutation which would result in the receipt of income. Kaya nga severance test. Okay, bakit we're talking about separation? Halimbawa, in simplest terms, you started the day with 1,000 capital. At the end of the day, you counted the money, naging 1,200 siya. What is the 1,000? It's called capital. What is the 200? If you can you sever it from the 1,000? The answer is yes. So that means the 200 is called an income. Papaano? Under what test? Severance test. Separation. If you can separate it. Okay, number 3. How is also income, no? How do you determine if there's an income? Under this principle, claim of right doctrine or doctrine of ownership, command, or control, a taxable gain is conditioned upon presence of a claim of right to the alleged gain and the absence of a definite unconditional obligation. Ibig sabihin, wala na siyang obligation, no? To return or pay that which would otherwise constitute a gain. Sige, maglagay tayo ng example dito. Sa number 3, how do you apply this? Kasi importante alam mo paano i-apply ito. Halimbawa, you are the lessor of a property and I'm the lessee. Humingi ka sa akin ng ano, humingi ka sa akin ng 2 months advance. So ang entry mo diyan, 2 months ang entry mo debit cash, tama po ba? Halimbawa 20,000, 10,000 per day. And credit unearned rent. Bakit unearned rent? Kasi nga hindi pa yan income. Okay, financial accounting tayo pero pag tax syempre income na yan. So ngayon, kapag ako ay nakatira na, nagamit ko na yung facility for 1 month. So, nag-earn, anong ginagawa mo? Nag-a-adjust ka sa box mo. Debit, unearned rent, 10,000, and credit, rent income, 10,000. O, ang tanong, ba't ka nag-recognize ng income dito? Kasi, possible ang sagot mo, na-realize ko na po yung income. Kasi, I can see already the income. Okay? Pero, tama naman yon. Pero nandito tayo sa number 3. Ang tanong dito, doon sa 20,000 na deposit na natanggap mo after a month of using the facility, meron ka na bang karapatan? Meron ka na bang karapatan? Yes! Kaya nga, claim of right doctrine yan. Do you already own the 10,000 part of the deposit? Yes! Do you have command or control? Yes! Nasa iyo na yan eh. So therefore, nasa income mo na yan under number 3. O number 4 naman tayo. Economic benefit test or doctrine of proprietary interest. Any benefit that increases a taxpayer's net worth, whatever may have been the mode by which it is affected, is taxable. But that is only a presumption and it is only the general rule. Anong ibig sabihin? We're talking about net worth. So, ibig sabihin, kapag net worth, assets minus liabilities is equal to net worth yan. So, anong meron din? Halimbawa, ganito yan. Okay, 2023 tayo. 2023 muna at saka 2024 kasi 2025 pa lang ngayon eh. Okay. Nung hindi ka pa pumapasa, ang asset mo 100,000 lang. Bakit? Wala ka pang pera eh. Sir, nung asset ko eh, estudyante nga lang ako, reviewing nga lang ako. Meron kang assets, mga cellphones mo, mga damit mo, etc. Mga asset yan. Wala kang utang, sabihin na lang natin, no? So, net worth mo in 2023, 100,000. And then you passed. Okay? Naging, nagkatrabaho. Anong meron dito? Di, yung 100,000, naging 1,000,000. Walang utang. Di, 1,000,000 ang net worth mo. Anong nangyari? Yung 900,000 increase, okay, is always presumed to be an income. Okay, kaya nga sabi natin, actually dapat generally taxable yan. The presumption is any increases in net worth is presumed to be an income under economic benefit tests or doctrine of proprietary interest. Lumabas yan sa board exam. I think in May 2023, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, isa yan sa mga tanong na lumabas, itong number 4 na to, sulat mo. Okay, dahil baka bumalik. Ang sabi natin, ang sabi ko, no, generally taxable. Bakit? Kasi pwedeng exempted ang increase. How is your asset or net worth increased without exposure to taxation? Simple lang. Anong dahilan? Bakit lumaki yung asset mo, net worth mo from 100,000 to 1 million? Ito, anong dahilan? Ba't lumaki yan? Pwedeng ikaw ay nagmana. Ang tawag doon, legacy or device. Exclusion from gross income yon. So, hindi ka taxable. Pwedeng merong nagregalo sa iyo. Gift ang tawag doon. Exclusion din yun from gross income. Exempted yon. Kaya hindi ka exposed to taxation kasi exempted yon. Pero if you cannot explain, okay, the origin of the increase or the reason for the increase, the presumption is always it's taxable. Kaya nga yan ay income under economic benefit test or doctrine of proprietary interest. Okay, so very simple, no? Ngayon, nalaman mo na ikaw ay merong income. Okay, you know what is the meaning of income. Okay, how do you earn the income? Alam mo na rin yan. So, kanina napag-usapan natin, test in determining the income. So, alam mo na kung ang hawak mo ay income ba yan. Okay, pag na-realize mo, income. If you can severe the money from your capital, that's income under separation tests. Pag may karapatan ka na, claim of right doctrine. Pag nag-increase ang asset net worth mo, okay, or net asset, okay, na hindi naman exempt ang sa taxation yung acquisition mo, that's an income under doctrine of proprietary interest. Ngayon, yung income na yan, paano mo malalaman naman yan kung yan ay taxable? Tignan muna natin yung rules. Okay, elements of imposition of tax. Dapat muna, syempre, bago ka mataksan, meron ka munang gain. Okay, yung pangalawa or profit. Yung pangalawa, the gain or profit must be realized or received actually or constructively. So, realization ng binabanggit dito. Number three, ayun, para maging taxable yan, it is not exempted by law or treaty from income tax. Kasi kung exempt yan, of course, hindi yan matatax. So, basically, that's the concept of income. Now, let's go to a question. Okay, reconstructed question in the May 2024 board examinations. Meron kasing isang tanong dito na nag-create ng confusion. Okay, ito yung tanong. The maximum personal deductions allowed by train law to individual taxpayer is letter A, 0, letter B, 100,000, letter C, 125,000, letter D, 250,000. Okay, let me just emphasize this, no? Nung unang lumabas ang tanong na 'to, nagkaroon ng maraming confusion. Yung mga, teachers, mga examinees, iba-iba ang interpretation dito. Kahit ako, iba ang interpretation ko dito. Initially, I answered 250,000 initially, ha. Bakit? Kasi ganito yung concept muna niyan, 'no? Bigyan muna kita ng history. Noong unang panahon, ang isang taxpayer, individual, okay, merong tinatawag na basic personal exemption. Ang basic personal exemption applicable to sa single, married, or head of the family. Bawat isang tao is entitled to a 50,000 basic personal exemption. Kapag ikaw ay merong anak, ang meron kang additional exemption. Ang additional exemption ay nagkakahalaga ng 25,000 per child. Okay, per child yan. Pasensya ka na sa sulat ko. Maximum of 4. Maximum of 4. So, 100,000 ang maximum niyan. So, anong meron dito? Following the tax code as amended, okay, ang total exemption na pwedeng makuha ng isang taxpayer is maximum 150,000. Maximum yan, ha, 150,000. Okay? Itong 150,000 pwede mong ibawas sa compensation mo, pwede mong ibawas sa business income mo. So ngayon, anong meron dito? Dumating ang train law. Ang ginawa ng train law, simplification. Tanggalin na natin yung 200, yung 100, yung mga ganito, tanggalin na natin 'to, sabi ng train law. Bakit? Kawawa naman yung mga walang anak, 'di ba? So ngayon, pare-simplify o pare-parehas na lang. In-increase ang threshold ng exemption. Ito yung first year sa graduated tax table, 'di ba? Meron tayong first year. 0 to 250,000 exemption. Yun ang reason kung bakit tinanggal na lang yung 100, yung ito, tinanggal yan. Bakit? In-increase na lang ang bracket ng exemption. Okay? Na 250,000. Okay, so ngayon, anong meron dito? So the intention of the law is actually palitan lang na yung 150,000 na exemption dito, yan ang pinampalit. Okay? So ngayon, naging 250,000. Ngayon, kaya ko sinagot ang 250,000 dati kasi nga, if you are going to look at the rules on statutory construction, the intention is palitan yung maximum na 150 to 250,000. So, ang sagot ko dito, maximum personal deduction allowed by train law to individual taxpayers is 250. Kasi nga, again, to emphasize, yan ay kapalit lang ng 150,000 na maximum exemption. Bukod dyan, kapag ikaw ay purely self-employed, di ba meron kang deduction na 250,000 doon sa gross sales or gross receipts mo and other non-operating income. Anong tawag doon sa 250 na yon? Deduction ang tawag doon. Kaya, ang initial answer ko dyan, 250,000. Ngayon, I had an opportunity to talk to the examiner. Sabi ko, pwede ko po bang i-clarify yung tanong doon sa May 2024 board examination about the maximum personal deductions? Ang ginamit kasing term, deductions eh. Ang 250, binabawas natin yan, deduction yan doon sa taxable income ng purely self-employed na nag 8%. Kaya deduction. Okay, ay ang sabi niya, "Bakit ang daming ganito doon, Vic?" Sabi niya, basic lang naman ang tanong. 'Di ba sa train law tinanggal na yung, deduction. So, dapat ang sagot zero, sabi niya. So ito dapat daw ang sagot. Ang sabi ko, "Ma'am, kahit ako din po nalito din, eh. Bakit? Deduction po yung ginamit yung term, eh. Kung sinabi niyo po, how much is the maximum personal exemption allowed by train law to individual taxpayer, aba maliwanag na zero na yan because there is no more personal exemption under train law. Pero ang ginamit na term, deduction. So, ibig sabihin pag deduction, ano 'tong binabawas natin sa mga individual taxpayer? O kung graduated yan, sige, wala tayong binabawas. Pero pag purely self-employed, 8%, meron tayong binabawas na 250,000. What do we call that? Deduction. Sabi niya, gano'n. Gano'n. Kaya ayun, I changed the, perspective 'no, I followed the perspective of the examiner. Ang tawag niya diyan exemption, although deduction yung term sa exam. Kaya, ah, answer here is actually letter A. Kaya kung sakaling, bumalik yung sagot dito, zero ang isasagot mo. Kasi nga, although deduction ang ginamit na term, the intention of the examiner is exemption. Okay, so dito muna tayo para tayo mag-ano, para tayo maputol-putol yung discussion natin, and of course, yung gusto mo lang balikan na mababalikan mo. Okay?